Hey everyone, and welcome to an unboxing video of a very special airplane with a very special guest. We have my nephew Karsten here today, and we're going to be unboxing his airplane. This is unusual for me. Normally I unbox one of my own airplanes, and that's what we talk about. But today we're actually going to be unboxing his airplane. This is his combined, I think it was Christmas and birthday present, I believe. This was his gift. He was really interested in learning how to fly. He's tried out real flight before, and he's flown a couple flights on a buddy box with a really old Hobbyzone Super Cub. And now we're going to get out under the box this Hobbyzone 1.3m Carbon Cub S. And this is the limited edition model. This model's not even available anymore. So we actually ordered this plane back in October. In fact, we actually ordered the plane, your dad ordered the plane on my driveway while you were trick-or-treating on Halloween. We actually completed the order then. So the plane was on sale at the time. It's no longer available in this particular trim, which is the Chandra Patey limited edition model. And this is the ready to fly. And the ready to fly model includes the aircraft, the transmitter, battery, charger, and the flight sim. And we pulled a little trick on Karsten here. We took the flight sim and the controller out for Christmas and boxed it up in another box, and made him believe that he got his simulator because he didn't know that the airplane was coming. So I think we tricked you pretty good though, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's go ahead and let's get this thing out of the box here. So this is a trainer aircraft. It's an ideal trainer for people to go ahead and get started in the hobby. It's designed specifically to be a trainer, but it's also good for intermediate pilots as well. And you can also get optional floats with it. So you can grow with the airplane. You can add flaps later, and you can add floats and fly it off the water. This is definitely an airplane you can have for a very long time, and you will not get tired of it. So let's go ahead and get it out of the box here. I'm going to have you hold on to this section, and we're going to pull it apart. All right, so we got it out of the box, and it is well packaged inside here. So this is Karsten, this is your first look at your airplane. You've not seen this before. So this is very exciting. So we got a couple things to go over inside the box. Your very first one here is the manual, which is taped in. So let's go ahead and remove the tape. All right, so we have the flight manual is in here. It comes with a really cool Hobbyzone sticker. Maybe we'll put that on your transmitter box for you. So you're obviously going to want to make sure you get the manual out and read over the manual before you fly the airplane. This will have the assembly instructions as well as learning how the safe system works, and AS3X, and how to balance the airplane. We'll get into all of that later in the assembly video, but don't toss this over to the side. Also a good idea to have your dad read it too, to make sure you guys are all on board with what the airplane does.
Yeah.
All right, so with that out of the way, we can see the airplane a little bit better. So we're just gonna pop this up in front of the camera here and take a look. So you can see we have two wing halves in here. We have the fuselage, the transmitter, battery, charger, landing gear. Everything is well packaged inside here and looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and get the individual pieces out, shall we? Mm-hmm. Now to do this, because everything is taped, I always like to make sure that we don't get any tape stuck on the airplane, because that could damage the paint scheme, and you don't want to have a damaged airplane. So I'll do the cutting. This is a little bar tool here is what I use. So we're just going to cut the tape here and open this box up. All right, so we got all the tape removed from the box, and of course you want to do that because you don't want the tape to stick on the foam. So now we get the fun part. We get to get the airplane and all these parts out and see what we have to work with. Now this is the ready to fly model, and the ready to fly model, like I said before, comes with everything you need to get started. This limited edition one actually came with an additional benefit, which is I think it's called the trainer edition of the Real Flight software, which you can then update into Real Flight Evolution, like the version I have. Then you can download all sorts of airplanes. You can fly cool things like the F-14 Tomcat. You can fly helicopters, fly float planes. There's like all sorts of stuff you can do. So you can take the version you have, and you can have your parents upgrade that, maybe as a gift for next year. So just to keep you busy over the winter. So because this is the ready to fly model, it does include the batteries, charger, batteries for the transmitter, and of course the plane. Now, this particular model is no longer available. This is not only is it the Chandra Patey limited edition model, who's Chandra Patey, her husband is Mike Patey, who built the famous Draco airplane, this big red airplane. You have a Christmas ornament of it. Your dad knows what the Draco is.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool guy. I've met him and his wife Chandra at Oshkosh. Very, very nice people. And Chandra actually surprised Mike with getting her own pilot's license, and this is actually modeled after her exact airplane. So very cool little story to go along with it. So it is, not only is it a trainer plane, but it's actually a real airplane as well. So with that, let's go ahead and get the wing out. So here's the first wing we have. This is what it looks like. So this is one half of the wing. See, it's got the aileron in here with the servo is already installed, and then this is where the optional flaps will go. But they're blocked off for now, so you can learn without flaps, and then we will cut this little box out, install the servo, and we can actually use flaps, which will allow you to take off and land with lower airspeed, and you can come in real nice and soft for a landing, and these will be great when you operate off water. So let's go ahead and move that first wing out of the way. We'll get this out of here too. Okay, we'll move some more pieces out. We got all sorts of fun things to get out of the way here. So we'll just kind of put these off to the side and clean them up later. It's been a while since I've done a ready to fly airplane unboxing, and I kind of forget all the stuff that comes with it. So we'll get the other wing out. As you can see, it's exactly like the other side. It's just the opposite. So we got the aileron with the servo installed. We got the flap over here, which is currently blocked off. So then the nice bright yellow paint on there should make it easy to see. And this trough you see here is where we're going to put something called the vortex generators. And the vortex generators actually, as the air comes over the wing, it will cause it to spiral or be a vortex. So it will spiral down and actually provide a little additional lift to the aircraft. So move that out of the way. And let's see what's next. The fuselage. So we'll get that out. So all right, here is the fuselage. It's the first time you get a chance to see what your airplane looks like. So you can see it's finished in that beautiful yellow, silver, and black paint scheme. This is, of course, the Carbon Cub, modeled after a real Carbon Cub aircraft, and you can see it's got a little decal of Chandra there sitting in the pilot's seat of her own airplane. So very cool. It comes with a prop and spinner already installed. It is styrofoam construction with a plastic cowl here, plastic spinner, and then on the bottom we have the battery tray, which we just pop open like this. Here we go, and there is our connectors inside there, including the connector here for the battery. And this is smart enabled, so that the battery is a smart battery that will automatically discharge when you're not using it. You never want to store a LiPo battery fully charged, and a smart battery from Spectrum will prevent that from happening. So they can become unstable if you leave them charged. So the computer system inside that battery will automatically self-discharge. So it's a very cool safety feature that's built in there. So we also have a little light on the top of the windshield here, and then you have your plugs for the ailerons. The servos are already pre-installed for the rudder and elevator, so there's not much to it. Here's a cover that goes on the very bottom here. I'm going to put this back in, and that is for the landing assist sensor, the LAS sensor. Get that pop back in there. That goes in the bottom there. That's where the landing assist sensor goes, and that actually will help your aircraft land. It's not equipped with the sensor right now. We'll add that later for you, but it just comes with a little cover, and it just pops in right there, and it's ready to go. Okay, so we'll move that out of the way. Boy, it's starting to look like an airplane now. More tape. So hold on a second here. More tape. All right, so here we have the horizontal stabilator and elevator. So we usually flex that a few times before we assemble it, just to help break that hinge down a little bit, make it easier for the servo to move. So this is what's actually going to make your airplane pitch up and pitch down. So when you move the sticks on the controller, that will move this surface here, and it will pitch the airplane up and pitch the airplane down. And we will also use that to manage our airspeed as well. Okay, it's another taped in item here, and this is the vertical stabilizer. So yes, it sits on the top, so here we go. We got the vertical stabilizer with the rudder and tail wheel installed, so we'll flex that just a few times as well. And this has the Carbon Cub SS decal on it, as well as Sean Jarpati's actual N number. So that N number, if you were to look that up, you find that it's actually registered to this aircraft right here. And if you go to something like FlightAware and you type in that number here, this November 922 Charlie Charlie, you will actually be able to track that airplane and watch it fly. So very cool. So we'll go ahead and just pop that in over here just to keep that out of the way. We're running out of parts here. Next up is the DXS transmitter. Normally this comes wrapped in plastic, but since we already tricked Karsten and made him think that he was getting the simulator for Christmas, it's already been out of the box. So this comes with a Spectrum DXS radio. It is a 4-channel in terms of control surfaces. So we have our throttle, you have rudder, you have elevator, you have aileron, and then it also includes your bind button, and your safe buttons are on here. Throttle cut are also included. So this is a pretty well-equipped entry-level radio. It's far better than what I had when I got started. So it looks very similar to the DX6 radio that I kind of the first computerized radio I have. And so if you read the manual, it will tell you which ones of these switches actually will handle your different functions, such as safe. It has 3 modes of safe. We've talked about that before when you practice on real flight, that in the beginner level, it limits the amount of bank and limits the amount of pitch. And then you'll flip one of these switches. I'm not sure which one it is yet, but we'll get the manual out. I think it's this one. You flip that switch, and now you can bank more. You can pitch up, pitch down even more. And then you go to the experienced mode, and you are flying at 100%. I mean, you're flying it all, no matter what. But here, there's nothing stopping you from going inverted, doing a loop, doing an aileron roll, doing aerobatics. So it helps you learn by keeping it on beginner mode to start with, so you can really focus on learning the airplane, getting comfortable with it. You can go to intermediate mode, gets you a little bit more control in the air, and then experience mode, you can do anything you want with that aircraft. So it's a very cool system. So I'm actually going to have you hang on to that just so we have room here. Moving our way down here, we have double. I think this is the charger right here. So let me cut this open here. Hold on a second here. We figure, what did I do with my little knife? It's over here. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done a ready-to-fly airplane. You forget all the stuff that you get. So ready-to-fly airplanes such as this configuration here are actually not even available anymore. You have to buy what's called ready-to-fly basic. And ready-to-fly basic means you have to buy the batteries and charger separate now, rather than coming all in the box. So yes, inside this little box here is our little S120 smart charger, and it comes with a USB cable. So you plug the USB cable in, and then plug this into a wall power source, and then it comes with, I tell you what, there's a lot of value inside this package, because you got the charger and you got these two Gen 2 Spectrum Smart batteries. And so you plug the battery directly into the charger into the wall, and the battery and chargers talk to each other and will charge the battery at all the correct rates. You don't have to do any math or chemistry or anything. It will take care of all of it for you. You just plug it in, let the computer do its thing, and it does it all on its own. If you charge these up and you say, hey, I'm gonna go fly, but then the weather turns bad, or you get busy, you got school, Little League, you got something happening, you say, I didn't get a chance to go fly for like a week. Now I'm really worried that I left my batteries charged. Well, with these smart batteries, they automatically discharge down to what we consider storage level, which is where the batteries are now, and that's the battery is stable, safe, and ready to be stored for long periods of time. You don't ever want to store a battery fully charged. You never want to run a battery down to its dead. So you want to stop the battery about 30% of the capacity. And so what we'll do is we will fly the airplane, and that has I think it's got a light system on it. That is how that works. Yeah, it's got LED lights on the very top of the transmitter, and those transmitter lights will work their way down as you fly, and when it reaches a certain level, we'll know that it's time. The battery is telling the receiver, which is telling the transmitter, that it's time for us to land, to make sure we don't burn out the battery and run it too low. On a lot of planes, you can do that, or you can set a timer, and make sure you land when that timer expires so you don't over discharge the battery. It'd be like trying to run your car out of gas is a bad idea, right? You want to stop before you run out. So these smart batteries allow you to do that. Oh boy, we're running out of parts here, and it's going to come time to put this thing together. So here are the, inside this bag here, we have the wing struts, which will support the wing, keep them from flexing up and down, along with a carbon fiber, I believe it's carbon fiber, it could be plastic. This one does look like it may be, I can't tell if it's carbon or plastic inside here, but it's the wing spar. It's a tube that sits inside the wing, and that helps strengthen it. And then we talked about the vortex generators, which are these little V-shaped pieces in here, go on top of the wings. So we'll put those over there. All right, we're running out of stuff here. We got a couple bags. We have, look at that, a spare propeller. So if you have an oops and things do go bad and you break the propeller, you got a spare one ready to go. We can get you back in the air within a matter of minutes. Here you have, these are the landing gear struts as well as the struts for the floats. So when you do decide to fly it off the water, it comes with those, so you don't want to lose those pieces there. And then the tires. Let's go ahead and get the tires out. I think that's our next thing. So I actually love these tires. I think they look like real legitimate rubber inflatable Tundra tires like the real Carbon Cub has. I like these better than the ones that are on the Timber, which look like kind of like a soft styrofoam. These things actually look like legitimate inflatable rubber tires. So very cool tires indeed. I love how these things look. So we'll put those on here in just a minute. And then the last piece you have is just some hardware, screws. You got a cover for the wing where it goes together at, your bind plug, a few other odds and ends are all inside here, including your hardware. All right. Whew. There is a lot to this, right? So let's go ahead and just move this out of the way and take a look. This is all that stuff in the box came out to this stuff we have right here. So, Carson, this is the first time you really seen the airplane. What do you think of it? I know it's not done yet. We got to put it together, but what do you think of it as the first time seeing it out of the box here?
Well, I flew that smaller plane, and then now seeing this thing is humongous.
It's bigger than what you were expecting. I remember you looked at the box and you weren't sure that how this airplane all fit in there. But yeah, you want a good size airplane to start with. You want an airplane that's easy to see. You want an airplane that is stable. You can fly it in some wind. If you get it too small of an airplane, you won't be able to fly in any wind because it doesn't have the power to overcome the wind, and you won't really have a good flying experience. You get a plane that's too big and too heavy, it can become very difficult to fly, and it's tough for a beginner to practice on. This is an ideal size. This 1.3 meter size is great. Now, Horizon Hobby has a number of other trainers as well. They have the 1.5 meter Apprentice, which is what I've learned on. The Apprentice is a tricycle landing gear airplane where this is a tail dragger. The tail dragger will set you up better to fly something like a P-51 Mustang or a Corsair or a World War II fighter plane, because you're already kind of getting that used to the idea of having a tail dragger. And when I say tail dragger, I mean that the landing gears sit here and the rear landing gear is on the back, so it sits like this. So it drags the tail, hence the name tail dragger. Tricycle landing gear's got two gear down here, one in the front, and it sits more like that. So a little bit different flying style. And there's also the Aero Scout, which is not based on any particular airplane either. That is a pretend made-up airplane, but it is an ideal trainer. It was designed from the very beginning to only be a trainer. This kind of bridges the gap between a trainer as well as an actual scale airplane, you know, something that you'll see. If you go down to the local airport, there's a guy that flies into town. He's got an exact twin to this airplane. You can see the full-scale version of your airplane fly into the airport just down the street. So there may be a chance that when we're flying one day at the field, you'll be able to see your actual airplane come in and land. And of course, then there's the Habu STS EDF, which is a jet trainer, and that's what my other nephew Logan learned on. So he learned on that, and you're going to learn on the Carbon Cub SS, and you guys will have a really probably the best way to learn how to fly in this hobby. So if you guys got any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. Subscribe if you want to continue to see more content like this. And with that, we're going to bust out the instruction manual here and figure out what tools we need to put this aircraft together and get them one step closer to flying. So I think that's what you really want to do, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so let's go ahead and get some tools out. keep an eye out at the end of this video. There'll be a link to the follow-up video, which will be the assembly video.